Evening, everyone. Welcome to TMA Sunday Night Live. As always, with the Pidge, joined by the young man Dino, and the man, the myth, the legend, Moudinho. Gentlemen, how we doing? Like as always, thank you very much, guys and girls, for watching as always and supporting the channel. Just big shout out as always to the TMA Former Players Club, fronted by Pricey and Watford's favourite son, Luther Blissett. Obviously head over to Facebook for TaylorMade in the community, and obviously Luther Blissett's official page. Right, okay, let's get straight onto the comments. We've got a couple of tasty ones, gentlemen. Just a big shout out to Greg and Darren. Greg's away, but he will be back next week. And get well, Darren. I know he's really under the weather, so big shout out to you, Darren, as well, mate. The two lads, you wanted them, they will be back next week, so you've got to quench your thirst until next week. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay, let's get straight on to it. Right, okay, so Dan, let's see if we can whack that up because you think, hello.
I was just waving to Halsey.
Yeah, Halsey. Oh, yeah, Mr. Halsey, evening, mate. Yeah, I've just seen it's popped up in our official comment section. Very nice. Evening, mate. Usually Chris is on. I mean, Chris, come on, mate. You're lacking here, mate. Lacking and slacking and everything else, mate, because usually the first one on. Right, okay, so Dan's put, we have focused too much on our lack of forward options. Or have we focused too much on our lack of forward options? Our defenders have been equally crap at the back, and so many goals conceded due to defensive mistakes. What do you reckon, Dino? Have we focused too much on the lack of forward and not sort of concentrated too much on analysing the defensive frailties, shall we say?
I think it's a little bit harsh on the defence, you know, to be honest. At times, yeah, we have been poor, but you've got to put it down to the midfield, to be honest, sometimes in centre mid. You know, every game, teams, you know, just do one pass and they're in. It's happened a lot this season. And to be honest, that starts in midfield. It's been very weak at times. I don't think it's good enough. And it really does need to, you know, that's supposed to be protecting the midfield. The amount of games I see, just a 1-2, and they're running in at our defence straight away. And that's from a goal kick. That's from their goal kick. It is so easy, and too many times this happens. I must admit, you know, it's not the greatest defence. Our defence isn't great. I'm not going to say that, you know, apart from Pollock, really. You couldn't really name another player that's definitely going to start at the back, could you? You know, I don't know why Andrews doesn't get a fair crack. Morris has been chucked out completely. I do not understand why, because at times he played centre back, and to be fair, he done okay. You know, he's never going to be Pollock's partner, but you know, I thought he'd get a bit more of a run out. Yeah, we know we ain't got much up top. It's got to improve, but some games that defence has saved us. You know, so yeah. You know, on corners, me and you always screaming pitch. I dare say everyone else is. You know, they're always marking bloody air and not marking the man. That does my fucking head in too much. Too many games, you know, we're old-fashioned, mark a man. All three of us, we're old-fashioned. We played the game, just mark a man, share the responsibility, but they never bloody do it. It'd be so simple if they'd done that, but they don't. They've been told to do this, but I do put it down a lot of games to the midfield. You know, I'm not going to, I don't think Loser gets stuck in enough. He's not the reason, but I think Sissoko's getting older now. He's getting slower. I know he scored again, but you know, even Deli's, you know, I don't know what's up with him. He's, you know, in centre mid, he's normally got a bit of energy, but we really need to strengthen centre mid. It's too easy at times. Maybe put a defensive midfielder there a little bit deeper to help the defence. But yeah, every game, you know, like we've got Burnley next, they're going to tear us to shreds, to be honest with you, if they through that midfield. But yeah, I think it's a bit harsh to blame the defence at times. So I said, they haven't been great, but I put it down to, you know, the midfield's got to be stronger as well and give us a lot more protection. And that starts with them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Moves, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I pretty much agree with Dino. I don't think you really can blame the defence, and I think when you actually look at it, I think you've got to really give Matty Pollock some credit, because he's the only one really this season that's thrown his body in the way of almost every single goddamn shot that has come flying towards the goal. I reiterate that because on Tuesday night he threw himself in front of a shot which he didn't need to do, which almost gave Hull City a goal, because it almost bounced off him and went in. Thankfully, it didn't. But no, I think there's been times when we've praised the defence because we've had clean sheets and everything. But yes, we have had occasions where we've switched off a bit too much. I can think of one more recently, Sunderland at a corner, but that was Deli Bashu in the midfield, not doing his job in the box when defending because he thought doing his shoelaces up was more important. Really not. But as Dino said, we are old school players. We've all played. We only played at Sunday League level, but we knew our jobs. We knew what we had to do when we were defending corners. It was get a man, stick on them, don't lose them, and if you got to foul them, but try and do it so the ref don't give a penalty. But yeah, I think there's been at times. Maybe they haven't. The defense haven't stepped up. There has been issues with the defense. And we did highlight it earlier on in the season. Especially when Backman was making mistake after mistake, we were proper highlighting that. God bless Mr. Cusack, who is no longer with us. I know he would have been absolutely on this like a rocket.
Jesus!
I'll tell you what, I don't think NASA could get a rocket up as fast as what Lee would be getting on it. So we certainly did discuss it, but more recently, I think that there's been cases where we haven't had to have a go at the defence because we've been doing okay. Okay, yes, we've conceded some sloppy goals, but sometimes it's not all the defence's fault. And as Dino said, it does come from the midfield at times. The midfield needs to be a bit more awake and a bit more sharper. And if they're not going to do that, then I think the likes of Pollock and that can say, well, there's only so much we can do. You can't stop everything. So, I agree with what Mark Ferguson's just said there. We don't create enough clear chances. So, things are going to happen. I think, I think technically, Halsey, we've got away with one this year because we had such a good start. I think that's what done it. We had such a good start. We were right up there and, we didn't really need to worry. It's only recently that we've dropped off.
But don't they say about, sorry to interrupt, mate, don't they say that about early days, which I think is a load of bullshit, that you get the point straight away because then when you do have a dip, as you've just pointed out, we had such a good start, it helped us. It certainly helped us moving forward, didn't it?
Exactly. We got, we got the start we needed and it was ready. It was, we all predicted we were going to have a dip. No one was shying away from it. It was when, not if it was going to happen. And it did happen, but, we were kind of all right still. But, I just don't know what, what they'll do after this, after this season. What, we really don't know what's going on. So, that's where I really stand there. I think overall, we have had a go at them, but I feel more recently having a go at the forward line has been warranted because we've not been scoring and the players haven't been doing the jobs.
I'll agree with that, mate. I think as well, you look at it both ways. If in our case, it's a case if we're not scoring, you're putting extra pressure on the defence to keep clean sheets. And they're sort of going, well, what else do we need to do? I mean, okay, we didn't bathe ourselves in much glory. Was it Saturday? But both goals were defensive errors. But like you said, it starts from the front. You defend from the front. Do your jobs at the front. Score the goals. Defend as much as you can from the front. The midfield should shield the defence. And the defence should shield the goalkeeper. And if it's not all working in tandem, you're putting more pressure on certain key area of the field, i.e. the defence. That's why we've been criticising the forward line so much, because we need to add goals. It takes the pressure off the defence, because you see in tight games where it's 0-0, or say we're losing 1-0 or 2-0, if we've got goal scorers, there's more chance of us picking up a draw or such and such fault. But yeah, the defence have got to take some blame for that, because some of it has been poor from them, got a ball watching and stuff like that. But yeah, we need to get something. I've said this at the start. If we had someone like Hamer and Gorkarez, I know it's totally different things. We had roughly the same quality of side that Coventry had when they made the playoffs and got beaten by the Scum. All they had was Hamer and Gorkarez as a fantastic goal scorer. If we had those two, we would easily be playoffs. 110%. We'd be fighting third if we had them. That's what we've been missing. Is a 20-goal a season striker. I think most clubs will say that, but that's pretty much what we've been missing. Right, let's get some comments in. Duncan's shat out a rather massive comment there as well. So he loves a massive comment. I did say comment, by the way, but it did start with C, obviously. Right, Lucy's saying hi, ladies. Woody, evening, mate. I'm reading from the forum as well, so to hold tight, guys. Also, big thanks to Roy opening the bunker today. Yeah, massive shout out. I know Moves will probably shout that out later as well.
Yeah, more on that later.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Thorpe, evening, mate, says, hi, everyone. We've got 2 big games coming up. How many points in the next 2 games? Will we play the youth team players in them? We'll try and come to that next topic as well, mate. Okay, let's get some more comments out here. I'll try and get through them as quick as I can. Halsey said, evening, guys. Stuart, bonjour, boys. He's also said, been a shit show all season thanks to the Potzos. No investment. Coining any player at their disposal. Dan saying both goals yesterday were because the defenders went to sleep. In midfield, Loser was great yesterday, but he was on his own. Halsey, evening, mate. He says, we have faded into mid-table obscurity. It could have been a lot worse, but thankfully it isn't. Yeah, good point. Looking forward to the Scumville relegation party. I think we all are, Stuart. I'm going to be extremely pissed that weekend. I'll definitely have a drink with you, mate. Halsey, I would disagree. It's been a shit show. If it was a relegation battle and we were looking over our shoulders all season, maybe, but we haven't. Evening, Melanie. She said, considering we all had us at the start of the season, considering where all of us had at the start of the season. Sorry, Melanie. I'm proper made up for this season. Yeah, positive there, Melanie. Well done. Mr. Ferguson said we were okay, but don't create enough chances and 2 slow laps in midfield. Mr. Higgins, I'm not going to gloss it up. Loser player of the season. We ain't keeping Bar or Dave. We need to breed the youth in now. Season's gone. I definitely agree with the breeding the youth in now. I think. I mean, 2 or 3 of the players need to get more minutes. 100%. Right, Duncan's bit. He says, deep breath. We've overperformed for the majority of the season with a squad that has some quality but minimal depth. When you're starting Batchman, Deli Bashir, Bio, and a few others regularly, you can't expect a top 6 finish. The poor winter form, where we had a long winless run and more recent inconsistency has caught up with us. But most people would have taken the points total we had now at the start of the season and still can get 12 more in theory. It's been a season of improvement and long needed stability. Get a new central defensive midfielder. God rest in peace, Lee Cusack, because you go mental at you saying that, Doug, with a central defensive midfielder, left winger and striker, and see what happens in summer window. Melanie agrees with Duncan. He's also said, agree, Loser is the strongest position. Potts for Potts. Shakatadze since Christmas has been less influential, and Bar's injury Calterdi's run for it. Mr. Ferguson seems to be a common theme. Start well, then slip up after Christmas. Even Bio got a few before Christmas. That's a point. That's a good point. Bio's song should be in the 80s anthem. I'm a tiger in the jungle. Woody knows words. I've no memory. Dunk says Banqua overall has been great addition. Pollock strong, but not faultless form overall. Selvik, I'm so happy is starting keeper, and we needed since 2022. Shut out. That's what we said about the comments. Dan's saying tactics too. If you're up against one of the best wingers in the league, you don't send your left back up on the pitch and leave TDB covering the winger. I think that's less tactics and more Just general player ability. Deli Bashir have been very poor on the ball and doesn't read dangers from Big Dave. Evening, mate. He says we need to get John Eustace in as manager next season.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen, mate. Whose moves he supporting this week in the Premier League? From Halsey. Mark replying to Dunk, he says Duncan gets caught out too easily when facing our goal, which doesn't help. Duncan does, or certainly does, because I played against him, mate. So he definitely gets caught too many times. Ellie Head was fantastic data from Ricky.
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later, Ricky. But yeah, no, good shout out there, Ricky. Modern games do not need target men. Game is changing. Yeah, I think, and there's also how you play as well. But I think, yeah, it's a shame. Game's changing for the worse, Stuart, to be fair. I think it's just they're too robotic, mate. It's you ain't gonna get any Mavericks in 10 years' time. And it's just gonna go to shit. They're all gonna be like I said to you boys, I'll not rabble on, but that's the only thing that I said about Owen. Say this every week. We're not gonna have any Mavericks, are we? I kick the ball at the net. Don't ask me about kicking though. Sorry, Mentress. Yeah, I thought no, the kicking, mate. Jesus.
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah, but even Dino scored against your Dunk. I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it? Fucking good finish, mate. Moobs always scores against anyone, mate. He scores hat-tricks every week. One more, boys, and I'll get to you because I've rabbled on way too long. Woody said, let's take the pluses out of the season. We're above the scum. We were never relegation fodder, like people were saying. Yeah, absolutely. Duncan, that's a low blow. Yeah, he apparently likes a low blow, but I'll let him confirm that. Mr. Ian, right? Okay, he says, right, Dino, Moobs. He said the juniors. How many to make it? Who's ready now? Sam Morris. There's certainly more than thing. I'll look that up as well. Sam Morris, but there's some. I've talked about this. I know Greg's talked about this, boys. But looking at Thursday's game, I mean, fantastic performance by the boys. Very unlucky, you know. Obviously, got knocked out 1-0 against a very strong outfit in Man City, probably the best youth team around at the moment. But we got the fruits of the labour are sprouting up, aren't they? And it's looking good for the future, Dino, and obviously moves. And it, mate.
What's this? The young lad? Sorry.
Yeah, not from the Turkish league, mate. This is from the youth team of Watford, mate. I know you scouting network is big, mate, but no. All jokes aside, mate, the youth team obviously Thursday proving what a great youth system we've got now, and we've certainly got some quality players coming through, haven't we?
Yeah, no, it was good. They only lost 1-0, wasn't it? I believe the score. So, you know, that's impressive. I think Man City, didn't they win it last year? I'm not sure. I think they're winners, aren't they? So, no, it shows promising. Like I said, I can't really comment much on it, but it'd be nice. We really do need to bring in these young players next season. You know, the Championship, we keep saying it is probably the best one to play in, really. It's a tough division. It's not as good as the Premier League, but get them ready. They can learn a lot. And if they can't do it against Plymouth, and no disrespect to Plymouth, I know they're a good team, but if they can't do it against Plymouth, they're going to struggle. I think it's really promising. It's great to see them get all the way to the semi. I can't really comment much back on it, but no, it'd be really nice to see these players. The main one I always remember is Ashley Young coming through there, you know, and see how good a career he had. So there's always going to be 2 or 3 good players in this academy. We just needs a chance to, you know, show these players off, which he's just done near the end now, hasn't he? He's bringing a couple of these kids in. They look promising. Obviously, the physicality of it, but of course they're young. They're going to build and get stronger. They're going to get experience and get better. So, you know, it's just, you know, I'm not going to say get the guts because I think he's told what players to start, and it's tough for him, and you know, keeping the job. So he's got to be careful. But no, we need to take a chance and, you know, bring 2 or 3 more into this team. We do need to hit the refresh button massively, don't we? And we need to add these kids in. Who knows? You will find one gem in there. There will be one player out of that lot who will be a fantastic player and go on to have a great career. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see a few more next season.
Yeah, no, I think I'd like to say I definitely would like to see a few more of them now. I think we now know our season is practically is over. We're not going to get in the playoffs no matter what anyone says. I heard someone say the other day about it. Quite frankly, I just looked at them and went, "You're having a laugh." We're not going to get sucked into a relegation battle. We're not, not really going to do anything. But one thing I want to say is I just want to say a big shout out to Matt Bevins, the manager, because being he's ex Watford Women, he's a top guy. He has done, he's worked wonders this season with those lads. And so has Lloyd Dino. I think Richard Johnson, who's head of the academy thing now, I think it is. Am I right with that?
Yeah, him and Jimmy, innit?
Yeah, I think they've got to take a lot of credit for how they've turned it all around as well. So I would probably maybe give 3 or 4 of them possibly some minutes now in like upcoming games. But I think it also depends on how their fixture thing is, because if they've got games coming up, like say I think they play Fridays, is it? Do they play Fridays? Yeah. Saturdays? They've obviously got to work out who can and who can't go with which team. So, but I certainly wouldn't mind seeing about 3 or 4 of them. And I think also we've got to remember, we've got to cast our minds back to the start of the season when we were playing in the League Cup. And some of these guys were getting chances then and they were taking them. So, maybe some of those guys that have, carried on this season from those games can possibly come back in for the last few. It would be nice to see, and like I say, we don't know what's going to happen over the summer, but maybe 3 or 4 of them will get added to the first team for next season. If I'm sure Klebs will be having discussions and working out what's what. So, but yeah, I'm in agreement. I'd like to see a few more of them now. I think it's the right thing to do. But one thing I would say is I don't want to see them all pushed into the first team and they have absolute howlers and everyone gets on their back. That's what you don't want.
No.
So, Stuart, I agree. We do have nothing to lose, but also you want to try and finish the season on a bit of a high as much as you can. So we shall see. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe another 3 or 4 appear before the season's out.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ones, so I don't remember the names. Certainly the ones, I'm just picking them up here, so I remember the names. Definitely Messiah Edwards and Nabazada. I'd like to see a bit more. Ramirez Espan, I've always think he's an excellent player. He's going to be a really good player. Coyne I always rave on about.
Sam Morris will come good. I think he's got a couple more years to really develop, but he looks a really standout player, that goalkeeper. I'm just going on the under-21s because there's a couple here. Right. Yeah, like I say with Coyne, Eames hasn't really had a look in this season, but Gaspar as well as the other one, Luigi Gaspar. There's a couple on loan. The ones that I was on loan, Adepuki's had a look. Definitely Greavesy. Jack Greaves. I want to see more Jack Greaves next season. Coyne, possibly. Another one's George Abbott. I think George Abbott's a good player. He's on loan as well. He's on, like I say, he's at Potter's Bar at the moment. He's very good. But yeah, I want to see Gravesy next season. The one that I really, obviously, he won't get in there now because we've got Selvik, but the one of the things, Alfie Marriott. Even if we play him for the last game or the last couple of games, say the last game at home to Sheffield thing, he won't be under any pressure. He's a local, the local lad, so you're going to give him time. That's one thing at Watford we all know, and that's what GT used to say. We always give the local lads time and patience when they're playing because they need that encouragement. Whether they're playing good or bad, they need that encouragement. And I completely agree with Stuart. There's a bit of me agrees with you, and there's a bit of me agrees with Stuart. We should be playing at least 2 or 3 of these youth players now. But also don't pile too much pressure on them. But like I said before, start 1 or 2 of them. They're integrated into the team already. So come pre-season, nothing is alien to them. I know they've been in the squads and been training and been things, but I mean, actually getting minutes on the pitch for the first team, see what it's about. I mean, you can't really judge them on 3 or 4 games, but at least they get that experience, you know, of the team before the end of the season. And yeah, I'm agreeing with Stuart at the point that we need to start playing them now, because look, but also we've got to be not too over playing, because like you said, we've got to finish it strongly, because we want to keep close, because you know, if we go on a bad run now and lose all the rest of the games, I mean, touch wood we don't, I could see Klebs going, because you know what the Pots are like, even though I don't want him to go. And I think him staying on will only benefit the youth players. It give them more chance to think. Could we get a foreign manager in, or a player that's got no connection with the club, I don't think we'll see many of these players, and you'll get a Harry Amass situation again, where he got offered a contract apparently, and he's obviously gone to United because there's more. Funny enough, there's obviously been more chance of getting in the first team.
Yeah. And he's been ripped apart by Newcastle.
Yeah, but he's still got. What I mean is, he's still got in there, and they've literally promised him, look, if you come and sign for us, there's a gateway to get in there. So. Oh, Nabizada came off injured. Okay, okay, no worries, Melanie. But that, you know, but you know, my sort of point on that is, yeah, we need to start playing them. You know, we've got the best crop of youngsters since the 90s, mate. Since the late 80s, early 90s. This is the best collective group we've got since that time. Since the Ashbys, the Drysdales, the Holdsworths, all those players coming through. Honestly, I'll be bold enough to say we've got probably the best group since that lot coming through.
Yeah.
Really, mate. I mean, that was the cornerstone. The Baisleys and players like that when they came through. So we'll wait and see, mate. But yeah, like, quickly, just before we go on the segment, as always, but talking about the game on thing. What is your quick assessment, boys, of yesterday? Because like I said, my quick assessment is, as usual, an early goal, concede an early goal, concede another, get a goal, we look half decent, then cleverly says we dominated in areas. That's basically how I got from that. But what's your assessment of that, Dino?
I didn't see it, mate, to be honest with you. It just sounds like the same old crap, don't it? Go a goal down, lose confidence, go another way, goal down. Oh, we'll start playing now. Oh, well, Grandad Sissoko scores, you know, reliable Sissoko, and then we relax a bit and play football. It sounds like the same old crap to me. You know, can't win away, you know what I mean? It's rubbish. I can't make it. I can't really say anymore, mate. I didn't see it. I didn't even watch the highlights. I couldn't be asked. Sounds like 2 defensive mistakes, you know, and yeah, it sounds like the same old crap. So I'll pass it over the moves. I can't really say much more.
Yeah, no, I'm actually with Dino. I didn't see it either. I had a bit of a no football day yesterday, but I did have Sky Sports News on for a bit, and the bloke at the game was saying it was pretty much all West Brom until we scored, and then apparently West Brom started panicking like mad. It's frustrating that we keep giving goals away and keep having to try and do things the hard way again. I know we've talked about this many a times this season. We've got to stop doing it. You know, I think maybe had we scored first, it probably could have been a different outcome. I know Kayembe smashed the post. If smashing the crossbar on Tuesday night at Hull was one, smashing the post is another. You know, what's the man got to do to get a goal all of a sudden? Apart from sticking in the net, of course. Please, no one comment that one. But you know, it's frustrating because I really thought yesterday we might be able to nick something. We might be able to get something from it, and that was before kickoff. So to come away, pardon the pun, but pointless, was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
So you know, I think I would have thought after Tuesday night against Hull, probably, you know, would have been a bit more of a confidence thing. You know, only play once, 1-0 down, we start slow. That's the thing, Stuart. We've got to stop starting slow. We've got to come out the blocks. If we come out slow on Friday against Burnley, Jesus Christ, the floodgates are going to open. And that is seriously worrying, because I'm talking to someone today, if Burnley beat us and Sheffield United slip up, Burnley will be promoted at the Vic. I'll tell you what, I don't want to see that happen because the Burnley fans are going to go absolutely nuts. You know, even outside the stadium, they'll be going nuts. So, you know, that won't be pleasant at all. So, yeah.
Moves. I think I saw a stat with Burnley. I think someone said on the radio that Burnley haven't conceded 2 goals all season.
No,
in one game.
That's us winning 2-0 then.
we're buggered then.
2-1.
Can't hit the target twice in one game, let alone 2 goals.
I'll tell you what, 2-1, boys. 2-1 next week.
Wouldn't surprise me with us. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's it. Stuart, I do. He says, Pidge, look at today. Mate, if you just listen to me saying, I listed all the players that should be playing now. So I have been looking at today. I'm making the assumption with Harry Amass, Stuart, because if we're not going to convince these players that they got a pathway into the first team, then they're all going to turn out like Harry Amass. That'll bugger off. Dion Pereira and players like that, they'll all bugger off to play for other clubs. Jadon Sancho being another one. You know, they're all... Yeah.
Sorry, mate, just jump in there. You say about Dion Pereira. Look what happened to him.
Yeah,
fell by the wayside.
He was. I think he's so promising, wasn't he?
He was.
He got so bad. He played for Luton.
Well, yeah.
Sorry for
what's
swearing.
There.
Yeah, I do apologise for swearing there, people.
Get that bleep machine out.
There's kids on the podcast there.
Yeah.
But no, Stuart, I'm looking at the future, mate. That's why I listed all those players and said that, and I agreed with you. We need to play them, mate. So I'm just, like I say, I'm highlighting what we cannot do, and obviously offer them an olive branch to get into this. Get into this first team, mate? Because they will go. Sawcliffe shaking his head, yet making no changes, not entering. Should he stay or go? I think Klebs is clueless. No B plan. The only thing is we can dominate teams as much as we want, but if we don't stick it in the back of the net and do the basics at the back, it ain't going to matter for shit because we're still going to lose. And that's what happened again. You know, there's periods of games that we have dominated and we have played well, but it means nothing if you don't keep it tight at the back, stop conceding and start scoring. That's all that matters. You can have 99% possession, but it don't matter if you don't score more than the opposition because you ain't going to win anyway, are you? You know, I've seen it many times.
I do agree with Stuart in some ways. Cleverly, he's got to learn that. There are some games where we've been screaming for him to do a change, and he does.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with him with that. Yeah.
Yeah. He pushes it sometimes. I'm not blaming Cleverly. He's still learning. I want to keep him by all means, but you know, we're screaming at him. You should have done that 15 bloody minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Look at that.
I know why he drags it out, but yeah, it shouldn't matter. That's one thing he's got to take into next season. Hopefully, he's there. He's got to take that on board. But in some ways, maybe it's because he just ain't got the squad. He ain't got the squad to do Plan B.
The thing is, though, when you've got Vatter on the bench and you need pace, you bring on Vatter.
Yeah.
That's the only time. I mean, like I say, I'm totally around watching it. Wanting him to, watching the game and how he's dealing with it. But I'm 100% behind him. But there are certain things that you're looking and think, come on, you should know by now. You've got people around you that will give you a nudge and say, look, do you think we should be doing this or this? So, yeah, definitely, mate. It needs to change, definitely. But right, just a couple of things. I'll shout these out. We only play when we're 1-0 down. We start slow. A bit like last week. Left it too late. Get back into the game. First half sounded quite positive, but Selvig made a few saves. Second half, Sawcliffe shaking. I played youth today in Dublin. School ball league against third in the league. 1-7-1 away. Youth is key, absolutely. I've been shouting about that by the start of the season, mate, with Jack Greaves, to be honest. Is any final things, boys, before we go on to the segment? Dino, anything, mate?
No.
Tags come off the leg, all that sort of stuff. I thought that, honestly, your lampshade, that's that brown bit there. I thought that was on my screen. I was scratching it. I actually thought that was on my screen. It was part of the lampshade. I was like, fucking hell, have I wiped the screen or something?
Oh, brilliant! Yes,
Shocking, mate.
that bit there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, mate. I was like, what's that? I'm going like this, going, what? Oh, shocking. Just a reminder, guys, I'm on 210s next week, so there'll be no podcast next week. We give these two lovely ladies a breather, and the other guys, so we'll be back the following week, obviously. Give you all the pods then, Saturday and Sunday, so nothing next week. Yeah, so right, moves, what a win. What was the attendance today for the girls? Hold that thought, young man. We will be back. We've moved Dino. ASAP. Moves, you ready, mate?
Yeah, let's see this intro, mate.
Let's put the new intro out, mate.
Where did you find that picture from? I haven't even seen that picture before. Someone's been taking photos of me or photoshopping me. I do not quite understand what's happened there, but hey, hello. Welcome to everyone's favourite part of the show. We put the doom and gloom behind us of the Watford first team right now. And yes, welcome to the segment. Yes again. Before I get to the girls, I'm going to quickly go through non-league because I want to talk more about the girls because it's been a very good day for them. Been a brilliant day, actually. Brilliant day. But starting with non-league, and I tell you what, well, it's actually a bit doom and gloom in non-league, really. It's not good. If you're a Hemel fan like me and Pidge, it was a bad day yesterday all round because Hemel went to Bournemouth in the Hertfordshire derby and got beat 3-0. Not a good day out. I didn't go, thank God. You sod, Halsey. You sod. Don't know him. Imposter. Also, another bad day. If you're a St Albans fan, I'll tell you what. To sum this up right now, they slipped to another defeat yesterday at home to Eastbourne Borough, who are trying to go for it at the top end of the league. If St Albans lose on Good Friday, because I think they're at home, and results don't go their way, on Bank Holiday Monday, they play the Hertfordshire derby against Hemel Town. And if they don't get the result they need, St Albans will be relegated. That's how bad it's got for them now. The load of us have been working this out over the last 24 hours. So that's not good at all. I don't want to see it happen, but I've got a feeling it will happen now. Kings Langley slipped up yesterday as well. It's been a bad weekend actually. If you're a local team, Jesus Christ, there's not much to shout about. Kings Langley lost to Rail Bedford, who have been crowned champions. So well done to Rail Bedford. They will possibly join Hemel in National League South next season. Not sure yet where they're going to end up. And finally, Chesham United beat, they actually won. It was a miracle. They beat Farnborough by 2-1. So, it's enough of the results. I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah, you have a break for Easter. Enjoy it. Yeah, I will. I'll be having an Easter egg or two. If anyone's about this Thursday, I know Melanie lives up in Hitchin. If anyone's about and wants to go and watch a game of football, head down to Hitchin Town on Tuesday night, because there is the Hearts County Cup final, and it's between Hemel Town and Potters Bar. So if you're about, I think it kicks off at 7:45. So, like I say, if you haven't got anything to do, you want to go and watch a game of footy, I know Champions League stuff's on. Head on down to Hitchin. Get outside chance I'm going to be there as well. So, hopefully it will be a good night. So yes, enough of the non-league depressing stuff. It's time to have a bit of a celebration. Because the Golden Girls were back in action today in their last home game of the season. It's been a ride and a half again this season. and it's been enjoyable to say the least. As you can see, Pidge just posted up the results. The Golden Girls ran out 4-0 winners today at home to Gwalia United, formerly of Cardiff City. Some superb performances. Really, we cannot pick out who was player of the match. It's out of about 3 of them right now. But today, Maddie Perry got a goal, got a couple of goals. Flo Fife chipped in with 1. Ellie Head got 1, although she didn't know much about it because she couldn't work out which part of her body it came off. All we saw was it rolled into the back of the net. So watch the highlights when you can. Also, big shout out to the probably one of the best people I've ever met in Watford women. I'm glad Pidge has put this up because it had actually slipped my mind. A big congratulations to Megan Chandler, the club captain, who was today presented with the Players Player of the Season award. Stuart, I don't know, but some delusional Arsenal fans normally watch it. Just for a laugh. So a big well done to Meg for winning Players Player of the Season. That's two seasons in a row she's done it. So, and she's been an outstanding captain. Yes, it was a very close game, Halsey. So close that they swapped the team around at half time. I'm joking. Bad result, bad season for MK Dons women, especially the women. Due to a lot of off-field problems, they have suffered badly for it. So, with 1 game to go, the girls now sit 3rd in the table, as you can see. Their final game isn't next weekend. It's actually the following weekend, which is ironically my birthday weekend, when they make the long trip south down to the team in 4th place, which is Exeter City. So, just putting this out there now, if you live down Exeter way, down in Exeter or near there, and you're watching this, 27th of April at Exeter City Football Club where the men play. I think it's St James's Park, isn't it? They call it St James's Park. Yeah, Halsey, it's a long story, mate. Long story with MK Dons women. I know the goal difference is bad. Yeah, if you live down that way, 27th of April, 2 o'clock kickoff, the final game of the season for the girls. They would appreciate all the support they can get because I know they're going to be heavily outnumbered. So if you're about or you fancy a road trip, then head on down there, please. It's been, like I say, it's been a great season with plenty of positives coming out the back end of this one, especially the second half of the season. We are, quietly hopeful of some good things to come for next season. And as always, we want you to join. We want you to join us next season. If you've been umming and ahhing all season long, I've got a question. Why have you been umming and ahhing all season long about coming to watch the girls? What's the nearest airport? I think Exeter's got an airport, Stuart. I'm not sure. I know there's one down that way. Is it Exeter or Plymouth? Anyone on here who might know that? Can they post it up? It's one of those two. I know that much. But yeah, honestly, we want to see more people next season, and I can confirm today we were told today's attendance at the Vic was just over 1,000. I think it was 1,012, something like that. So that was a big plus for us today. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come for next season. But we shall wait and see. But yeah, it was a good day all round. A big well done to the girls. No worries, mate. There is nice one, Halsey. There is an airport in Exeter. So yeah, it will be. It's shaping up to be a good one next season if things go right off the pitch in the summer. So yeah, that's pretty much it for
I thought you'd like that. It's just that it doesn't sort of like blend out, so I might have to do that where it sort of like fades out a little bit. But it's very nice. Right, okay. Just a quick shout out to some of the forum. Woody saying fantastic. He says the girls were fantastic again today. Mr. Pierce from one of our official partners in Reach. He says I'll watch and catch up later. No worries, tell. Also, Woody saying sorry, it's the sandwiches on the coach here. The Pozzos have the same caterers as British Rail. It's from Woody. Oh, that's Moves' section finished then.
That's harsh.
Quality from Stuart. Always the finest quality, mate. Huh?
I think he's saying about the airport for Exeter.
Yeah, it's good, mate. But the was it at Hitchens Ground or Letchworth, that cup final? Because usually the cup finals are held at Letchworth, aren't they?
Yeah, no, apparently it's not at Letchworth this time. It's 100% confirmed at Hitchin Town because there's a minibus running from the club. So it's it's 100% Hitchin Town because
I remember watching the Tudors at Hitchin, mate, all those years ago. Jesus.
Oh, bloody hell.
Paul Edgeworth and all that lot were playing, mate. The Edge. Remember the Edge and all that lot? Fucking those players. Brilliant. When Bateman was first in charge.
Oh, man. Good times.
Definitely. Good. Oh, great times, mate. Great times. Right. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, we won't be around for Easter. So I'm working late shifts. So we'll be back the following week with the fans' verdict and TMA Sunday Night Live. But massive thank you to all of you for watching and supporting us as always. You're all of you are legends. So thank you very much. A massive shout out to the young man Dino and the man, the myth, the legend, Move Dino as well. Cheers, boys. Shout out to Greg and obviously Darren. Hope you're getting well, mate. Hope you get well for a couple of weeks' time. There's no excuse in 2 weeks' time, young man, or John McLean as we call him.
Mahoney.
Or Mahoney or Proctor. I mean, there's plenty of things. I mean, plenty of things you can call him beginning with C and P and D, but especially Proctor is probably the more safest thing to say on here. Cretin. So we'll see in a couple of weeks. But boys, anything else to shout out or anything before we go?
Just that I was supporting City this week for Halsey. City.
Damn you bastards. Dino, Tesco Wi-Fi is kicking in again, I see.
Yeah, it's all good.
Pixel.
Everything else.
No, yeah. Have a great Easter. Yeah, thank you. Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you and the families have a fantastic Easter. Stuart said, thanks, boys. Great as ever. Enjoy your long weekend. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers. You're fantastic as the boys here that helped me out, and you guys and girls that are watching. Thank you very much. As always, you've been beautiful. We've been TMA. It's good night from the young man.
It's good night from Moves.
It's good night from... There he is. Where is he? There he is. From the pitch.